Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back, everybody. If you, or maybe somebody you know is dealing with illness, maybe a chronic illness situation, you've been to the doctor, they can't quite figure out what's going on or why this is happening or reoccurring, and you're maybe throwing your hands up trying to figure it out. The answer may be hypnotherapy to reveal what's happening. And we're going to talk about that today. Pretty powerful stuff on the program. She is a hypnotherapist. She does therapy in that regard. She's also a life coach to help you figure things out and move your life forward. And she's back with us, Sabrina Perez, on the program. Hi, Sabrina. How are you?
Hi, Steve. I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm well. I'm glad we're talking about this today because I'm a big fan of hypnotherapy, and it's many times it's the key to the answer, And a lot of times, all the stuff inside of us that was maybe placed in our subconscious, maybe from our childhood, is causing this illness, is maybe causing stress, and you don't know what it is, and you just feel out of alignment with yourself. I mean, you can't figure it out, but right, hypnotherapy could do it for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing how I'll have clients, come to me for, chronic pain, getting sick, back pain, different ailments, and it's never what they expect, what comes up in a session. It's always surprising to them, and it's so fun to see them make the connections and put it together and be like, oh, this is why, this is what's going on. And freedom comes from that, understanding and knowing what it is that's causing this. There's often three things. First of all, disclaimer, no way am I a medical doctor or have any, don't want to replace, medical help in any way. I actually come alongside and help with, a professional doctor. But
Sure.
Three parts. There's three things that oftentimes these things that occur in our lives are playing, either to prioritize us, to protect us, or to punish us. Very fascinating. And that will come out.
Three P's. It's the three P's.
The three P's, yes.
Wow.
And it will come out in a session, what it is, what that is trying to do for us. Example, I have a client who was suffering from chronic, neck pain, and it had been going on for quite a long time. And she hadn't had neck pain before, so it was a new occurrence. Didn't know why, what was happening. Well, she was starting a new business, and she was working through, the uncomfortableness of that, the uncertainty of it, the pressure, the everything that needs to get done. And in her session, it came up. That's what this part was doing for her. It was protecting her. It was trying to keep her safe from the stress and the pressure of this new business that she was starting. And with that, she was able to replace it. Let's let go of that part, this neck pain that thinks it's helping me, it thinks it's keeping me safe, and give it a new part. And she did. She gave it a new part that was going to help her know how to balance her life, balance the stress level, self-care, things that she can do. And when that's done in a hypnotherapy session, it's the power in it is you're not just willing it or just thinking of, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this. You go into a deeper level of understanding. So it's like, when you have those big aha moments, that's what it is. And it really helps start the shift for you in that direction. And then we create a recording for what it is that you want, what you want to see yourself doing, the life you want to see yourself living, the positive things to be telling yourself and saying to yourself, and listening to that for 21 days rewires your brain and connects neural pathways. And repetition of that is what helps form a new life for you, new understanding.
That's where the magic happens right there.
Mhm,
Let's,
mhm,
in the example you gave, let's go back.
mhm.
So we traced back her physical situation due to starting a business and the
Yeah,
stress, understandably
stress. Yeah.
involved around that.
Mhm,
Why was she stressed out about it? Were there things from way
mhm.
back? Because some people, listen, they're wired that way where they can,
Yeah,
"Hey, I'm going to start another business. No
yeah.
problem, all good." And many of us will say, "Oh, God, I don't know financially if I could do that. I'm
Mhm,
afraid of this. I don't have the confidence." So in her situation, if we were to go back after
mhm.
hypnotherapy, what was learned? What was revealed?
Yeah, so she learned that she just wanted to make herself be more productive and putting so much stress on herself to be productive, feeling like she's not enough, she's not getting it done, she's not being as productive as she wants to be. And so often, we turn off everything and turn on Netflix, sit on the sofa, do something that isn't productive at all. So you're like self sabotaging, right? Well, that neck pain became like an alarm, like something, get off the sofa, get moving, get doing what you need to be doing. But then the neck pain was keeping her from being able to do what she wanted to be doing. So it wasn't really working in the way that, she wanted it to, but it was prioritizing her was what it was doing too. And,
Hmm.
oftentimes it can have dual, roles, but the prioritizing also is what it was doing is prioritizing her and her dreams and her goals and what she wants and keeping her from checking out.
Can you give other examples of how that stuff from back in the day can affect us in terms of
Yes.
illness?
Yes, absolutely. So, another client starting a business, that's a very high stress thing. Starting a new career is
Sure.
scary and uncertain. And every, she started getting sick a lot. Like, she got COVID, she got the flu. Within like, also, this just started happening over like a 3-month period of time. And she came to me for a session, see what's going on. And every
Hmm.
time she was making headway in her business and growth was happening and things were moving along and she was feeling excited about it, and she got sick. And it took her down for 2 weeks. And then to get that momentum back was just really difficult. So we went into hypnosis back to why, what's the root, the cause, the reason for getting sick. And the first scene that came up is she was playing with her brother in the yard. She's 4 years old. They are so excited because they're digging for gold and they find a treasure. Well, there's kids that are laughing at them. The older kids in the neighborhood planted this box of gold and was bullying them and laughing and teasing. And she felt shame with that. So she was so excited that they found this treasure and then embarrassed and felt shame.
Did she feel that she actually found a treasure, or they were just playing? It's like, yeah, we
Oh
have this.
no, it was real, at 4, these things
Of
are
course,
real, right?
of course.
And so associating feeling enthusiastic, excited about something that you've done and you found, shame was connected to that, embarrassment. So fascinating. And then the other scene that came up with her is she was heading to out for the day. They were getting ready and she was already just having fun, singing, dancing on the table on the porch, and, just in her own little world, just happy and excited about being alive. And her mom got really upset with her because she wasn't doing getting out the door like they were supposed to be, yanked her off the table, spanked her, said, what are you doing? And again, embarrassment, shame. Ooh, it's not safe to feel this enthusiasm, excitement about life. It's not safe for me to do that. So all of that was stored in the subconscious, all of these years. And it plays out. So feeling that excitement about what's happening with this new business growth and I'm getting somewhere and this is great. It's not safe. It's not safe for me to feel this way. Oh, I better get sick.
Unbelievable. And these
Yeah.
are that 4-year-old situation with finding the
Mhm.
gold and being made fun of.
Mhm.
I don't want to say this, but it's normal,
Yeah,
kid stuff, normal kid stuff.
exactly.
Even the mother situation,
Yeah.
normal stuff.
Yep.
It's
Totally. Mom's stressed out, got to get out the door. And yeah,
yeah,
yeah. As
but
a child, though.
that's a big deal. And the impression that it makes and the lasting impression that it makes,
Yes.
and how that one little
Yes.
thing at 4, digging a hole, thinking you found all is gold,
Mm-hmm.
stops you from enjoying life and moving forward.
Yeah.
Uh, wow. I
Hmm.
mean,
Yeah.
I think we could end right here because
I know, right?
it's
Yes,
so impactful of
it
what's
is.
going on with
Hmm.
all of us.
Hmm.
We're
Yeah.
all here.
But what do
It's
you
where it
do about
began.
it, right? It's like, well, in that moment, in these sessions, you're able to go back and go, oh, wait, that's not me. I'm not 4. I'm 54. I can be excited and I can enjoy and be enthusiastic about life. I'm safe to do that. You start speaking to that 4-year-old and saying, that's not me, that I'm not that
Yeah.
anymore. And,
Yeah.
I'm not going to get yanked off the table if I'm excited and enjoying myself. I'm 54. I have discernment. I know when it's time to go. I know when it's time to get out the door. I know when it's appropriate. It's really fun to be able to speak to that little 4-year-old, in you and saying, validating that also, that's very age appropriate. Right?
Mm, yeah. But again, that little thing is such a big thing until you
Yeah,
figure out what it is or what it was.
yeah.
And I can totally relate to a lot of this. When I did hypnotherapy before we met, I knew where I
Mhm,
wanted to go. I knew it was my childhood. I knew certain
mhm,
things were there. Not like I have it figured out, but I had a really good idea. What was
mhm.
really impactful with the hypnotherapy was seeing those images that I knew existed so much clearer.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
it could be just if I went through my day trying to think back to my childhood, I might see a little flick in my head, like, yeah, that was it. This
Hmm.
was like, I'm there again.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so emotional. The emotional part was
No.
facing myself as a child and telling
Yeah.
myself what
Yeah.
I'm sure you had her do, reassure
Yes.
herself as that child. It's
Yes.
almost like you go back to the beginning in your mind
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
kind of reset things and then
Yeah.
move it forward.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
amazing how it works.
Yeah, it is. And you get to be the loving parent to
Your own parent.
yourself, to
Yeah.
yes. And you're right. When you're in hypnosis, when you're in that real relaxed, meditative state, and it's so fascinating. I'll tell my clients, even if it's something you already remember, go with it. Whatever comes first, just go with it. And it's amazing, they do. And it's surprising what gets extracted out of that event that, it's like, oh, and it's so connected.
It's so
Like our mind
cool.
knows.
It
Hmm.
really it's like you're watching a home movie. Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
remember, I mean, I think we're old enough to remember, Super 8 when you
Yes.
used
Yes.
film to not
Yes.
video to and just,
Hmm.
putting that on, let's watch it again. And
Yep.
it's like you're watching
Hmm.
your childhood over again
Yep.
and
Yep.
somebody's filming it for you. But it's really
Hmm.
you that's doing it
Yeah.
for you.
Yes. It reminds me of the movie Big. Did you see that movie?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, where he's taken back by himself to his childhood events and
Hmm.
seeing them again, only on a different level and perspective, and seeing it and being, oh, okay. And it's, very similar. You're seeing these things and yeah, just able to unpack them to help you.
Why do you think, and this stuff is so important for removing the blocks that are
Hmm.
stopping us from living the lives that we want to live?
Hmm.
It's been going on for decades, at least hypnotherapy, and this has been all figured out with the subconscious mind.
Yes.
Why in 2023 is this not more the norm? Why
Hmm.
is it we're afraid of hypnotherapy?
Yeah.
Is it, I always I often hear that it's like the last thing somebody mentions. And then
Yeah.
like, why didn't I think of that before? Why didn't I
Yeah.
do that before? Why do you
Right.
think it's not so much accepted or not so much accepted, but not more widely known
Yeah.
now?
Yeah. I think that it's fear of the unknown. I think also entertainment, hypnotherapy, on an entertainment level,
Mm,
makes people think that maybe, if someone's going to take over my mind, I'm not going to have control.
yeah. Yeah.
If that were so, there would be billionaires who are hypnotherapists. You say, give me
Absolutely.
all your money, buy me a car. And if you have no control, well, so it isn't like that. And people, I think, don't have the full understanding. So there's a lot of misconceptions there.
I think you're right. Yeah. And as much as I want to think that we're past all of the hypnotherapy skits on TV from way back in the day where, make somebody bark like a dog, cluck like a
Yeah.
chicken, all of that.
Yeah.
Um, I like to think we're past that, but I guess
Yeah.
we're not. A lot of this.
Well, yeah, and that's fun. And that is very possible. But you have to go into that wanting it. You have to go into that, sit in that auditorium, prepared, already wanting to be doing that. And
Yeah,
so that, so then you really are actually in control of what you're doing. It's just you're playing a part in that,
right.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I think there's a lot of misconception too. I grew up in the Christian faith, and to this day, um, my father thinks, it's you're opening yourself up to the unknown spiritually by
Hmm.
hypnosis, So there's also that misunderstanding, like you're completely have now left your mind void and open to anything coming in, that isn't good or could be hurtful to you. And, again, that's just it's not really fully understanding what it's about. And,
Hmm.
that that is not the case. That's not what's happening.
Sure.
You are, again, you're in total control.
I can see somebody thinking that you're opening yourself up.
Hmm.
And if you approach it from a spiritual or religious
Yeah,
aspect, but
yeah,
once you have hypnotherapy, then you understand that you're just sitting there listening to somebody. They
right.
don't have any power or control over
No,
you.
no.
And
They're
you can,
asking you questions about it and you're answering, and it's
yeah, it's just,
yeah, yeah,
you're,
it's
you're fully awake. You're not in
yep,
if you want to call it a hypnotic state, you're fully awake. All it
yeah.
is you've
Hmm.
allowed yourself, not the other
Hmm.
person. You've allowed
Yeah,
yourself to be open to seeing a part of your mind that you don't normally
yeah,
get to see or connect
yeah,
to.
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
it. There's nothing
yeah,
to be afraid
yeah,
of.
yeah. You're allowing yourself to be completely immersed the in yourself, in this awareness of where is this coming from. You're allowing yourself to go deep in, and being, I think I like to think about hypnosis too as, if you can relate it to being completely engrossed in a movie,
Mm,
like you're watching this movie and you're so engrossed in it, and it's where all your focus is, and
that's it.
to where you can be easily startled even
Like the
because,
person
oh,
next to you just spilled
yeah,
a cup of Coke on your lap, and you're like, oh wait
yeah.
a
Oh,
minute.
wait, yeah, okay, wait,
Yeah,
wait.
wait,
I'm
I'm
sitting
back.
here in this theater,
But
right?
the
Yeah,
whole time you're fully awake.
yeah,
You know what's going on. You even know the people are around you. The people you went to
right.
the movies with or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I would this be true to say that we can all sort of hypnotize ourselves if we just
We
got in
do it
us?
all day long.
Well, okay. Let's I know what you're going to say, but let's
Uh-huh.
let's let's illustrate the two ways. Like if
Yes.
somebody's driving and they get somewhere and they say,
Yeah.
"How did I get
I don't
here?"
remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I was still
Yeah.
driving. Everything was cool. But how did I do
Right.
that? You were
Yeah.
sort of in
In
hypnotic
hypnosis.
state, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
if we wanted to, I don't want to say meditate, but call it just block everything
Yeah,
out,
I
have a
hear what you're
quiet moment,
asking. Huh.
and
Mm.
look at the images maybe of your childhood, because
Yep.
that's where a lot of
Yep.
it begins, and
Mhm.
see some of that. Are
Yep.
you sort of getting in the hypnotic zone.
Yes, yes, like definitely. Absolutely you are. Daydreaming, that's, you're in a
Okay.
hypnotic zone.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I never thought
And
I've totally forgot about daydreaming because
yeah,
you're pretty much
yeah,
you're in a hypnotic state of,
yep,
some type of state. Uh,
sure. Mm-hmm.
wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So yeah, it's fascinating. Like you could put yourself into hypnosis easily too, say you're struggling to sleep. I have wonderful techniques on, being able to put yourself into hypnosis to be able to, sleep easier. Maybe, you travel, you're on an airplane and you have a hard, you're anxious on the plane or, not fear of flying. I think that takes a deeper,
Hmm.
level of hypnotherapy session. But say you're just restless on the airplane, and someone next to you is able to just go sound asleep. How can they do that? But I can help with techniques on how you can put yourself into hypnosis to be able to relax, to be able to sleep on a plane.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah, I forget about
Hmm.
that. Insomnia.
Hmm.
There's
Yeah,
there's a
yeah,
reason you can't fall asleep. You are the one that finds the reason.
yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
Where
Yeah,
nothing wrong with regular doctors. They're not
right.
going to be able to do that. I'm sorry.
No, yeah,
What
yeah,
they can
right.
do is they can write you a script, and if you want to go that
Mhm.
route and
Sleepy
take
meds.
meds, yeah, but
Yeah,
that's not fixing the problem.
no, no, it's not helping the quality
Putting
of
you to
sleep,
sleep.
but
It's putting
yeah,
you to
right,
sleep,
right.
but it's
Yes,
it's masking what's actually going on. Your brain is still
yes,
doing what it was doing before
yeah.
you took the med. The med
Hmm.
just knocked you out. So,
Yes,
wow.
yes. And again, there's a reason, there's a part being played, for that. There's all kinds of examples of how, eczema, um, the part, the scenes going back to I was a child and I had this eczema and my mom rubbed the cream on me and it gave me the comfort. It made me feel important and special. And, it's like, wow, okay, this, carried on, but now I understand why I even came up with this eczema in the first place. And I don't need that anymore. It's not, and
So what Sabrina, are you saying that in that situation, let's say you had a case of that,
mhm,
a skin issue back in the day,
mhm,
mom put
mhm,
cream on, went away, everything's cool. A lot of the
mhm,
skin issues come up from stress or
mhm.
internal, they'll pop
Yeah,
up for whatever
sure.
reason like
Yes,
that.
yes,
Um,
yes.
could somebody, because they like the attention
Mhm.
subconsciously,
Yep.
keep bringing that on and don't
Yes,
even know that they're
yes,
doing that?
yes,
Oh, I
yes.
got another one here. Oh, wow, okay.
Absolutely. Yes.
Wow.
It's
Mm.
interesting. There's four roles that are played in the family unit, and it's either you're the helper, you're the sick one, you're the rebel, or you're the overachiever. So there's four of them. Well, let's look at the sick one. And all of these are to feel important, to be significant, to be seen,
Yeah.
be accepted, and so the sick one, that's you get attention, you get love, you get focused on, you get help, and sometimes and oftentimes that carries through your whole life. Keep playing that role for attention and I don't say that in a calloused way because that can sound really like, oh
Oh.
gosh, I'm not doing, but oftentimes that is what will come up, you know,
Hmm.
and be able to be free from it once you realize that, oh, well, I don't need that. I don't need that anymore.
Hmm.
I have all these things in my life. I'm not a child. So you're able to really encourage yourself to know that it's not necessary or give it a new role.
Mm. Well, it gets right back to where we started here, and that is you're through hypnosis, you're healing yourself. You're doing
Mhm.
it yourself with the help of somebody else. It's not
Yeah.
like you're coming in, planting all this stuff in your head,
No.
and
Right.
no, you're
Yeah.
doing it yourself. You're just, again, you're the key to unlocking
Yeah.
your mind so you can heal
Hmm.
yourself. Your website is
Yes.
your name, right?
Yes. SabrinaPerez.com.
And
Yeah.
Perez, Perez.com. Uh,
Correct.
it starts with a conversation, like all relationships, and free start, so they can figure out, anybody that's listening, if this resonates, where it begins with you.
Where it begins with me, exactly. Just call. I have click a button on my website, Speak with Sabrina, and we have a conversation. It's no cost to you, and just find out how I can help you and what's going on in their life, how I can be of support, and what would be the best way to get started on that journey of healing and growth.
Yeah. Learned a lot today. Got to tell you.
Oh, thank you.
You really
Yeah,
did.
fun,
And the
fun
connection.
conversation.
Yeah, just the connection through, what the beliefs that we've had and how that can cause illness. And I thought I knew a little bit about hypnotherapy, but learned a lot today.
Okay,
Again,
awesome.
SabrinaPerez.com. Sabrina, thank you so much. And I look forward next time we get together.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.